everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is the finished pages of October. So we're in November now, my birthday month. So we'll clear all this out and I'll go through it one by one and show you what I've been up to this month. So I will start off with this year's Colour in Heaven. Well, no, it's not this year, it come out this year, but it's for next year, yeah. So I have finished one page out of this already, and I'm already eyeing up my next one. This is the first one that I finished. This one is by Christine Karen, and I could not resist when I saw this cute little girl. My next one in this one is going to be, closer to the back, is the Hannah Lynn one. I'm definitely going to get this one done for my birthday month. Right, so this one. For the background, I did my usual get out of jail free card because it's easy peasy to me, the distress ink. All of the pencil work that you can see is all Holbein pencils. The majority of the pastel ones I used on this. We've got some glossy accents on the beads, on the eyes, and just a few stickles on the tail just to add a little bit of sparkle. Now I'm really looking forward to actually hanging this up when it's May time next year. It's super duper cute. The only thing I wish I did the hair a little bit darker, you know, like the shading. So I did go in and shade where Christine's already put the grayscale for us, but I do wish that I went in and darkened it. I mean, I could go back, it's pencil. I did burnish it, but I probably could go back and do another layer on that actually. So that was out of the Colour in Heaven calendar. Now, the issue with the printing error on, which page was it? Was it that one? No, it wasn't. I'm not going to be able to find it now. It's always the case. Oh, it was this one by Kelly O'Gorman. The printing issue here, they have addressed that on Facebook and they've said that they're going to give extra money to charity due to the printing error, which I think is really, really nice of them. You know, I don't think that justifies printing the whole calendar out again. What a waste of paper and ink that would be. So the next thing I've been working on, I did mention this a couple of videos ago that I was working on just a little diamond painting. Now I've done this one for my mother-in-law. She had a border collie called Max and she lost him last year and he was her pride and joy. So as soon as I saw this, I got this off Amazon. If I do remember, I will put the link in the description. But it's a round drill, a 30 by 30, and I really enjoyed doing this. I mean, it took me 2 weeks to do it, but it wasn't solid sitting there diamond painting every night. I think I worked on it 4 or 5 times, a couple of hours each time. But the sparkle on this is absolutely gorgeous, and I've just used to set it, seal it, let me just get it, a PVA glue that I got off Amazon. Now I've tried the one that I got from my local Tesco's and I've used all that up and that worked just fine, and I think that cost me about £3.50 for that whole big bottle, so that'll last me a little while. So yeah, it's nicely sealed for her, so all she needs to do is pick out her own frame and she can pop it up on a wall, and I have already shown her it and she gave me a big hug and she was really happy with it. So there you go, Lyndon, that's your Max. So I'll put that to one side, keep it safe. We've got a few Halloweeny pictures, but I'll be honest with you, I have done a lot of colouring this month, but for the past couple of days I've been having a bit of a break from colouring. I've been playing on my Switch. But this is a Hannah Lynn picture. I should be able to keep it in here, I'm just worried about the glare. But this was just a really, really easy, simple one. When I was not into doing the Halloween pictures, this is the one that I chose to do, and I did base the majority of it with the Ohuhu brush alcohol markers. Black acrylic for all the background, and then it would have been probably Prisma. I'm terrible for not writing down what I've used, but you know, for the most part I do remember what I've used. But yeah, I think it was Prisma that I used. Oh, and added effect. These are real leaves. I've used these in another page and I completely forgot that I used the leftovers for this. And I ended up sticking them down with nail glue because nothing would work. I didn't have the PVA glue at the time. I tried glossy accents, I tried stickles, nothing would stick these down. So I've used nail glue to stick them down, and then I've popped a bit of the gel medium over the top just to make sure that, you know, they are sealed. But yeah, that was just an easy, fun one to do. Now that I've got my little cube at the side of my finished pages, it's given me more of an incentive to colour because I like to see it filled up by the end of the month. So this one, this is the new Mystic Art mirrors. Now, I do tend to go for the colouring boots, but since buying a binding machine, I thought it's silly me spending more money when I've got the printer, I've got the ink, I've got the binding machine, I've got, you know, I've got everything that I need, the paper, etc, etc. So why not try to make my own book? So this is my effort of trying to make my own book. I've just put, this was the back cover, I believe. It was either the back or the front. No, because I think that was the front. So I just stuck that to the back, and this is just a mixed media card stock paper. That was a mess up print. It printed out wrong here, so instead of chucking it away, I just cut it, and I'll be able to colour that as well. So with my front cover, I went in with the Winsor & Newton watercolour paints, some stickles, some of the Dovecraft 3D effect, if I just show you there, and then went over the top just to seal it with the gel medium again. I know it's been mentioned in a couple of videos, people don't like the brush strokes on the gel medium. Now, I've not found a way to get around that, but it doesn't bother me because I still like the texture and the thickness it gives to the paper. So just a word of warning. I mean, you could probably use a sponge to applicate it, but it still might leave some bumpy marks. So I'm not sure. I will have to test that. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. But this is the boot that I printed out, and I did spiral bind it, and I spiral binded it upside down at first, so I had to redo it. And I've done two out of this one, and this one was done with whole binds again, I believe. Pretty sure it was whole binds. But after I'd shared this on Instagram, and I took another look at it, I've not even shaded the hair. I never do that. I never just go in with my alcohol marker. So I did do the hair with alcohol marker and all the rest of it pencil, but I can't believe that I forgot to even shade the hair. I think it looks nice nonetheless, you know. And I've gone in with the KJ designed by Karen, I think it was, for the shiny watercolour that you can see there shining. But I'm a bit irritated with myself, I even forgot that. Why I did, I don't know. And I have done another one out of this one. And I just like the fact that I've made this, apart from a couple of errors, you see there, punching it out, you know, it's a learning curve. I'm still learning, but I'm really pleased that I've managed to make my own book. So this is another one that I finished. We've got Distress ink on the background, Spectrum Noir sparkle pens I can see. This was with Prismacolor because I recognised the green skin tone. And then we've got the Winsor & Newton watercolour again. And I'm super duper pleased with how this one turned out. I think the hair is so vibrant and it just pops with the green skin. I love this book. All of Mystic Art mirrors, I do really like their books, but just for the fact that I've made this myself, I've bound it up, printed it, I've cut it, I've made my own cover, I'm really pleased with this one, and they are really, really nice images if you haven't seen them. And I did print them out on quite thick cardstock. So yeah, that is my Mystic Art mirrors ones. We've got one now that you have already seen me start on the channel. Now I did just go ahead and finish this, not last night, the night before. I couldn't have it on my in my cube as being a whip. It was driving me insane every time I was walking past it. I needed to finish it. So I did base everything with alcohol markers, apart from the background. You did see me do that, so that video is up on my channel, how I did this background. I will leave that link down below. But it is the Ohuhu brush markers again. They seem to be my favourite alcohol markers at the moment. Them and obviously my Copics. And then I went over the top with Prismacolor to do all the shading. And I don't know if you can see, but I tried to give her really bushy eyebrows. I think, is that the thing nowadays? It's what I'm seeing on TikTok, the bushy eyebrows. People are perming them, I believe. I don't know. I feel like I'm old. But yeah, I think she's turned out super duper cute. And I went for a nude lip to match her hair. And like I said, the background on this is already up on the channel if you are interested. Yeah, she was super cute. And if I didn't mention, that is Circle Portraits by Laura Rafter. Really lovely quality boot, that one. That one's available on Etsy. Right, so this is the one that I've been working on most this month. Now, should I class the double page spreads as 2 pages? I probably should, but I'm not going to be able to keep count of the tags here. But this is a boot that I do think that I am going to finish. I'm probably more than 3/4 of the way through. So I'll just show you the ones that I've finished for this month, because you've seen all the rest of them. So my little moon dog bear, whatever it's meant to be. I did try a Neocolour 2 Galaxy background, and I think that was probably 3 or 4 layers of Neocolour 2, and it didn't go the way that I planned. But you know, it doesn't matter, it's fine. I've basted all of the dog, bear, whatever it's meant to be, with Tombow brush markers, and you can see a little bit of gel pens, stickles. That was just a really fun page. See the stickles on his little brooch there. I have got a really good idea with this one. This is going to become Ninetales from Pokemon. We've got my leaf page that I mentioned earlier on, so I did go out and collect some leaves. I did wash my hands after picking them up. I give them a nice wash, I let them dry for 2 days overnight on my radiator. And it was the same problem. I ended up having to stick them down with nail glue and then going over the top with the gel medium. Now, you can see the brush strokes again in certain lights. You see just there at the tip of the fringe, you can see, but that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It's my colouring book. No one else is looking through this. And if it brings me joy, you know, I'll make a mess, which I'm going to talk about on the next page. It was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a fail. But I used Prismacolor on the rest of the page and Distress Ink just in the background. So this double page spread was a whip for 2 months, I believe. Now, I completely and utterly messed up the background. You would have seen it in last month's finished pages. I went in with, it was either acrylic paint or watercolour paint. I think it was watercolour. Pretty sure it was. And I was lost for what to do with it. Anyway, I ended up going over the top with the Distress Inks. Stickles, but I didn't just pop the stickles down. I rubbed it around with my finger. I ended up colouring all of this with Prismacolor and going over the top with all sorts of different colour of Posca pens. Now, what do you think? Do you think I've saved the page from what it looked like last month? I think it looks okay. And you know what? With them Posca pens, I had so much fun. I do need to invest in a couple more colours. These colours are all hand-me-downs from my son's that he doesn't use anymore. I can't even remember where he got them from. But yeah, this is a super blingy page. She's cute though, isn't she? A little pony. The next double page spread, I'm definitely not going to be able to keep count. I'm pretty sure it's about over 30 pages I've done this month. Is this gorgeous page. Now, I was inspired to do this page because of Kirsta from Kirsta Colour and Sketch. I saw her finished piece last month and I wanted to dive right in. So the same thing, Distress Ink in the background, but I've actually stamped as well. I've stamped, it's all writing. I tried to give it a bit of a vintage feel. I don't think I've pulled it off. But on the butterflies, I went the easy way and I used the KJ Designs by Karen watercolour paints just to make my life a little bit easier, and a bit of Posca pen over the top. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with this page. Similar to Kirsta, I was not about to colour all these individual butterflies, no way. So that's why I went over the top and did my own background, but I think it did turn out quite nice. I do really like that one. Now this is probably my favourite of this month, and the reason why, take the little tag off, is the glitter. The glitter in the spider's webs. That is the Woe Embossing Powder glitter. Now that's probably the nicest glitter that I've ever found, and I have purchased a few. So if you're looking for a really nice glitter, they do all sorts of different colours as well. But again, with Distress Ink in the background, and then I've gone over with the Winsor & Newton. If I've got it to hand, I have the Winsor & Newton white ink, just with a tiny paintbrush, and went over all of the white areas. And then the actual colouring was pastel pencils, and then I've gone over the top with Prismacolor just to add a little bit of shading. Nothing too crazy, because I didn't want to take away from the glitter and the spider webs. I thought they were super cool. My double page spread of the little snowmen, they're so cute. I've got to be honest, I think I went round the fur a million and one times trying to cover up the black lines with Posca pen, the white ink, white acrylic. It's 2 layers and layers to try and get rid of. I mean, you can see some of them poking through. But again, I'm crazy about the distress ink, and it's so easy to achieve such a fabulous background that's a bit different. And these splodges of what are meant to be snow, big thick globs of white acrylic. So I've just blopped them onto the page basically, and it took probably over 2 days for them to dry because it was that thick, the paint. I don't know if you can tell, but they really are thick. And then once it was dry, I went over the top with stickles, but again I rubbed it around. I didn't use a brush, I didn't just pop them down, I just used my fingers, got my hands dirty, and it was fun. But yeah, these are my little, what are they called? Abominable snowmen? And that's what they're called. I was going to save that for next month, but I couldn't resist. You've seen that one. Another double page spread. And these ones are super duper cute. The colours of the actual dragons are getting a bit washed out on camera. I don't know whether that's because of the background being so vibrant. Now, I will try and get a different shot of the actual true colours, but I've gone over. I wish I didn't add these stamps. That's the only thing. I wish I didn't add the extra stamps on top. But as you can see, the little hearts, they have got the oh gosh, what's it called? The Mod Podge Extreme Glitter just on the hearts. Just add a little something. Imagine the boyfriend and girlfriend, even though the dragon's dead and the different breeds. But yeah, I think this is super cute, and it was just an easy page to do this one. That's why I think I will end up finishing this book, because they are, you know, easy colouring. So this one I did as a speed colouring up on my channel already. Again with just distress ink in the background. I think I did use Tombow brush pens on this one, I believe. And then the matte black accents that you can see is the glaze gel pen. So it's just got a little tip like this. And I found this because of Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. I didn't even know it existed until I saw it on her channel. And it's a brilliant gel pen. So I do recommend that. It's a Sakura, I believe. Sakura Jelly Roll Glaze, yeah. And I think I went over the top with, was it Black Widows or Polychromos? Honestly, I can't remember, but like I said, it is up on my channel, that one. I've got another double page spread, which I did closer to the start of the month. My 2 little zombies. And I did share this one on Instagram already, and it was just really fun to do this page. Now, all the pencil work on this was Black Widows. I was giving them another chance. I do like the new set of the Black Widow pencils, and I wish they'd reformulate or redo the pencil to the new style. I do really like them now. But yeah, this was just a fun page. And again with the glazed gel pen for all these black marks. They aren't just dots, they're meant to be flies around the zombies. I think I've got one whip as well in here. One more finished page, which is the Snake Lady. And how cute is she? I love the colour scheme that I chose for this one. The oranges and the blues. I think they really, really match gorgeously together. And again with my distress ink background, it seems to be my go-to thing at the minute. If I'm struggling to think of something different to do, then I'll always reach for the distress ink. My belly's rumbling, I'm hungry. It's dinner time. What date is it? I think it's the 1st there. Use the surname. So it's the 1st, Sunday the 1st of November. Oh, I need to keep that in there. So that's my little whip that I've got. I just need to add a little bit more fur, then he is done. I was being honest when I said I'm going to try and finish this pink. But we'll see. We shall see. We're over the Halloweeny season now. So it's all about the winter and Christmas pictures. But doesn't mean that you have to colour winter and Christmas pictures at all. So I haven't actually featured this colouring book on my channel yet. The day that I did the colouring haul video, it was meant to arrive, and it arrived a day late, so I didn't include it. And I forgot to mention that it was coming. So this was a bit of a hiccup, I've got to be honest. I went over the whole thing with Tombow markers, and it took me an eternity because of all the little details. And then I went in and did a tiny bit of shading with Prismacolor, which is fine. And then I went over the top with the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. If I just lift up the page, you'll be able to see there. It's the same thing with this, guys. You get the the brush strokes on this. If I find another way to not get these brush strokes, then, you know, I'll let you know, but at the moment I'm not. And I started to apply it, and it pulled the colour out because Tombow's are water based, and that's my fault for completely forgetting. So you know what, I went for it. And I completely pulled the colour purposely all the way round the page to try and make it look like it was meant to look like that, but it wasn't. But this was a fun page. I mean, these images are very, very intricate, but once they're done, I've seen some on Instagram and they're absolutely gorgeous, so they're definitely worth your time. They do remind me of Kirby's work, but a lot more intricate than Kirby's. That was Mythographic by, I think that one's by Fabiana Attiano, I think. So I did say that this is going to be a longer video, so I do apologise. I hope you've got a nice brew or a snack. So we've got another one from my beloved Hannah Carlson. I think she's still probably my favourite artist, purely because she was one of the first ones that I found and fell in love with. So where are you, page? So I finished this one. Now again, this one was a bit of a hiccup. I spent so much time doing the shading on the swans and the diamond to try and, you know, make it look pretty. And then I went in with the background, and let me just check. Yeah, it's the Jane Davenport Mermaid markers. I don't mind the bleed through because I can cover that up, you know. But the colour choices for the background, I hate. That's why I ended up going with all greys for even like the leaves and stuff. I've not really much else to say about that. I'm really disappointed in myself with this one. I've seen so many gorgeous finished pages of this one. I'm happy that I have got a backup of this page, luckily. Just not in the good paper like this. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in myself with this one. Because of all that Hannah Carlson boots, I don't want to destroy any of them. And I feel like I've destroyed that page a little bit. But, you know, hey ho, on to the next one. So I featured this one in my last haul video. I got this at a bargain price. I think it was all in all, was it £12.50 or £14.50? That was including postage as well, off Facebook. The buy and sell group off Facebook, Colour with Clothes. And I finished this one. I did this one the night that I got it. And it is very, very, very grayscaled, this book. If I can find another picture that's really grayscaled. Well, for instance, like that one. So if you like grayscale, you are going to like this book. And it is spiral bound, which I like. But I'm trying to remember, because, you know, it was right at the start of the month. I have used watercolour in the background to achieve this gorgeous sky. I was really pleased with how that turned out. And I think I used a mixture of the Faber-Castell Albert Dura watercolour pencils and then the Polychromos over the top for just a little bit of shading. And I think she's turned out super pretty. And I even referenced a picture of a tiger. And I didn't really want to be leaving so much white on the page, but that's what the tiger had, so I was trying my best to emulate that. But yeah, she's super cute, and I've used, if you're wondering with the sparkle on the wings, that is I've actually got it at hand today, the Spectra Noir sparkle pen. Now I did have the Wink of Stella, and that ran out, but this is, you know, it's exactly the same colour, it does the same thing. And that came with a set, so I'm happy to use that instead of buying another one. But yeah, I enjoyed doing that one. I need to get back to that book. So we've got another Hannah Carlson. This is the Seasons one, so I've got a whip in here. I know what that whip is, that's from a video with the strawberries. I still need to get back to. I'm naughty. And this was right at the start of the month, a 3-part colour along, I believe, that I did, of a watercolour background, and I'm not going to lie, I can't remember what pencils it was because it was right at the start of the month. But again, in the middle, where it's shining, is the Spectrum or Sparkle pens, and I think that one's in Harvest Moon, if I remember rightly. That bit of sparkle just in the middle. Because I wasn't feeling any Halloween pictures at the start of the month, so I thought, you know what, instead of doing Halloween, I'm going to do a fall inspired page. And this is the one that I did, I'm pretty sure. Yep, no bleed through, luckily. I'm happy with that one. No more destroying Hannah Carlson pages. So we've got Beauty of Horror, the brand new one. I have took the dust jacket off this because I can't stand them. Even the same on the other Beauty of Horror that I've got, which one is it? I think it's number 3, the other one that I've got. I've took the dust jacket off that as well. I can't stand them because when you're moving the book round and turning the pages, they're all over the show. So I just took it off. This one I've already featured on my channel. I have already shown this. I can't remember which video it was, but I have already shown it. I think it might have been the haul video actually. But I did the alien picture. There's so many pictures out of this boot that I do actually know what they are. But I believe at the back, yep, they're all, you know, there. So if you're not sure what they are. But I used, it was Inktense to base the whole of the alien, which it was quite patchy on this paper. I don't think water works very well on this paper. But once I'd let it dry, I went over the top with Prismacolor to do all the shading, and it worked out splendidly. I've added a little blood splatter just to add to the gruesome effect. And then again, the Sakura Jelly Roll glaze in black. For the shiny black, you can see. I think this is so effective, and I really enjoyed doing this page. I was a bit nervous at first because of the Inktense, how it was behaving, but all in all, I'm quite happy with it. And if I remember rightly, I'm just looking at this, I think there is a little bit of the gel medium, but instead of putting it all over the page, I've sort of kind of splattered it on. You see a little bit here, a little bit here. I'm just trying to experiment with all my different mediums and try and use them a different way. We've even got a little bit of blood spatter on her top there, but doesn't necessarily mean because Halloween's over you can't colour in these books. I'm sure it'll definitely be out before next Halloweeny time. So we got Eerie Patisserie, I think that's how you pronounce it. I couldn't say it the other day when I was showing this video, showing this book, sorry. But this one, you know, I had so much fun doing this one, and now I understand. I watched Kate's Colouring Haven quite a lot, and I understand why she loves these books so much. This is the first one, and definitely not the last of, it's Clara, isn't it? Clara Morgana. Yeah, definitely not the first one, and the last, because I do love this book. I was a bit disappointed with the paper. It is Amazon printed paper, and for some reason I thought that it would be a little bit thicker. But you know what, it took the mediums just as well. So I've used alcohol markers, I've used a Arteza acrylic paint in the background, which I've got to be honest, these aren't the best. I got these right at the start of my colouring journey. Yeah, they're not the best. I think that's probably 3 layers, and as you can see, it's not very opaque, but that was the colour that I wanted. I didn't have any other colour in any other paint, so I had to use them. And then we've got Prismacolor over the top, brush markers for basing everything, I believe. Yep, absolutely everything. But this was so fun to do. Just really easy pages. So I am definitely going to invest in more of her books. With it being a bit smaller as well, it was quicker to do that one. Talking about smaller books, we're on the spiral bound ones now. Which, this is the new Coloriage Wild 5. And this is the one that I chose to do first. The little frog one. So the background is watercolour, just, you know, hardly any. Just wanted a little bit of something in the background. I made him have a green tint to his skin. Now this paper is more like watercolour paper, so when you are using a pencil you will have to, you know, either burnish or use some sort of, oh gosh, what's it called? You know, the zest it to break down the pencil. Otherwise you will see, if I bring you in really close, you'll see a little bit though, you know, like the pencil strokes. I think I based most of this with the Albert Dürer watercolour pencils. I'm pretty sure I did. And then I just added a bit of Prismacolor over the top just to add a little bit of shading. But yeah, just a very minimal background. I didn't think it needed it with all the green going on. But I'm really pleased how he turned out, and I'm glad that it's a book of little boys. This little ice cream, oh how cute. Yeah, something different from this artist. Really lovely book. Let's turn that over. Trying to keep everything organised as best as I can. All in a neat little pile. So we've got 1, 2, 3 from Anastasia Calderava. So the first one is in Mermaid Legends. Now, you know that I love these books. I did start the fishes last month, and they did take me quite a while, and it only took me one night to finish the rest of the page. I mean, the details in these fish that I actually put into them, I did really try and make them look realistic. I think they're meant to be discus. I'm pretty sure they're discus. But the ones that I've seen in real life, they're more like this colour, the blues, when I've gone to the fish store. But I think, again, it was Prismacolor on this one for all of the pencil work. And then a mixture of the GD colour. It possibly was KJ Designs by Karen as well. Again, it's at the start of the month. You know, I should be telling myself off because I should be writing down what I'm using. But if you're anything like me and you start your colouring, you just get carried away and forget. I love the pastel hair. I've never tried anything like that before, and I think I pulled it off quite well. What do you think? That was Mermaid Legends. So we've got When Dragons Dream, again, the same artist. I think I've only done one out of this one. Yep. So all of the background, all the splodges that you can see, let me just double check. Yep, it's the Jane Davenport Mermaid markers. Now, if you don't like bleed through, do not use them pens. Obviously, single-sided, it's fine. And then the rest of it was all the little intricate bits and bobs that you can see were Tombow brush pens, and then I've gone over the top. Again, it was a mixture on this one of the Holbeins and the Prismacolor because I needed a lot of the pastel shades. But this, again, was just fun to do. But I will say, in this book, you have to really pay attention. You know, you can't just sit there. Like, sometimes I sit there and I'm colouring and I'm watching Netflix and YouTube at the same time and not really noticing what I'm doing. But I really do have to concentrate on this book because of all the little details. Yeah, so this is the book that, like I said, I really do have to sit down and concentrate with this one. But it is, you know, nonetheless a nice book. And great quality paper again. But yeah, my first dragon out of this book, so tag be gone. It's not going to be firming counting these tags this month because the double page spreads that I did. So if anybody would have been nice enough to count the pages as we're going, that would have been great. So we've got the newest one, Serenity. I've done 2 out of this one this month. So we've got the first one that I did very, very early in the month, and I used the Tombow brush pens again to base all of the bird, the hair, and I did do the twigs. Yeah, I did do the twigs, and I ended up changing my mind about the twigs, and I ended up using the Colour gel pens, which worked an absolute treat. If I can manage, there you go, they're catching the light beautifully there. And then over the top I used Prismacolor again for the skin. I'm just checking. I've actually based this with watercolour, I can tell by the skin because we've got a blotchy mark there. But these tattoos were not on the picture. I added these myself because some of the pencil work underneath was no, it was not good. So I tried to hide it with some tattoos. We've got a little bit again with the Colour gel pen on the little bead details, and then it's watercolour background. Now I did go over this probably 2 or 3 times. I was trying to get a different effect and I didn't manage to achieve it. I wanted it to be more like this here where it was more blurred out, and this side was not playing the ball. It was, you know, it was weren't having it. So I thought, you know, I'm not going to drench the paper and get it to pill. I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I don't think it looks too bad. Again, this one was right at the start of the month and I was very proud of this, and I did actually share this on Instagram. Now if you notice, I don't share all my finished pages. I don't like doing that. I like to save it for my end of the videos, end of the month video, just so everyone's getting a little bit of a surprise. But I think if I put all these on Instagram, I think I'll be at it all day. So yeah, this is my scorpion lady. And the background on this again is the Arteza acrylic paint, and you can see how patchy it is there, and that's like 3 or 4 layers. I really don't like that paint anymore. I think it's probably because I've got better quality paint over, you know, these months, that the cheaper quality products that I was buying, you know, it's no good. So I am gonna probably send them to the charity shop. I've got a box of them. Maybe keep a couple of colours, and my niece might even like them. At least if you watch this, let me know. The hair was Polychromos, which Polychromos and her match together beautifully because they keep such a fine point. They work beautifully. We've got a little bit of Pentel Hybrid Duo gel pen in the hair and the little beads. Just there if I lift it up in the light. And then the skin and the scorpion were Prismacolor. And I tried, like I said, to go with a purple skin tone to match the jewels. Now what do you think of the jewels? I was really pleased how they turned out. I did go over all of them with the Posca pen. I can't remember which size it was, but it was one of the Posca pens that I did use to go over and add the sparkle. But I'm really, really pleased with this one. One of my favourites out of this book that I've done so far. My washing machine's doing a little dance for me. It's telling me to go and open it. It's finished. We've got Fantasia. Now, this one was a Halloweeny picture that I did. Let me just see. It was the school one, I believe. Now this one shows you how bad the brush strokes can be with the gel mediums. But obviously you're not a human person. Can you hear that? I like that texture. Might be weird. But again, I've used the Tombow markers on this to base the whole of the picture, and a bit of watercolour, I believe. It would have been the Winsor & Newton at the time. And Prismacolor for a bit of the shading. And then the background is just black acrylic with the Faber-Castell. Is it the pastels? Is it some sort of pastels anyway? Just in the background, just to add a little bit of something. As you can see, it's super duper shiny. I think my sister likes this page, so again, Laura, if you're watching, you can have this one if you want. I think we're coming up to the last one now. Yeah, we are. We've got Imaginary Friends. Now this is a super thick book, really, really, really thick. And the one that I finished in this one was The Witchy Lady. So I told you I haven't done many Halloweeny pictures this month. I just wasn't feeling it, to be totally honest. So you know what, we went out last night, we didn't go trick-or-treating. My dad just lives around the corner, and I took my daughter there, took Isabella, and I said, just make sure you got some sweeties in together, and he gave us some sweets. And I think we saw one bunch of kids out, and we saw a lot of the little tables outside doors with sweets on. You know, it's so sad. It's so sad with what's going on at the minute. And I feel for the older people as well, because they like Halloween, seeing the children, don't they? So yeah, it was really sad that last night. Anyway, I might have used 2 tags on that one. I have to make sure I reuse it. Anyway, so yeah, with this one I used the Bruchot powders in the background with Distress ink again, just to base it. As you can see, the bleed through here, here, here. And then I've all of the rest of it is watercolour, because this paper is fabulous for taking watercolour mediums. I've not really much else to say about that one. I think I only did it because it was a witch. But that is all my finished pages, I believe. I'm just looking around, just double checking, because I know what I'm like. I've got a couple of whips going on this month, but you know, I'll show them next month in November's finished pages. But I'm guessing I've probably done about 30 something pages. I do apologise for the lack of videos this week, but with the kids being off for half term, I've just not been able to sit down and film. I don't want noises in the background of my videos, so hopefully we'll be back to normal schedule next week. Although I will just put it out there that I'm at the hospital on Thursday for my daughter. She's having Botox in her legs, so probably Thursday onwards I'm going to probably be a bit quiet online. But yeah, so anyway, enough rambling. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Do stay safe. Comment down below which one was your favourite. I'd love to know. I'm always interested what other people think about, you know, my art. So do take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.